Though. Hey, there it is. Hey, everybody, welcome to the last Thriving Lives podcast, Thriving Lives Zoom of the year. Hopefully, everybody had an awesome Christmas, whatever other holidays you guys celebrate, and you're excited for New Year. Renee, how was your Christmas?
It was great. It was really good. We had family in town, and it's just been good to spend time with family and catch up and relax. And I have this week, other than today, I have this whole week off of my dental hygiene job.
Oh,
So,
nice.
uh, yeah, it's nice to just have like a little staycation.
Yeah, that's awesome. How have your habits been since you've had family in town and you've been off work? Because that's obviously two different components throwing you off probably a little bit.
Yeah, so both of those things, one of those things would typically having family in town wouldn't throw me off,
Yeah.
but being off work, I have been off my routine on eating, off like grocery store. Normally Sunday is my like meal prep day, get stuff done, laundry and everything. And I'd planned to do that, but we ended up doing stuff Christmas Eve, and so that didn't happen. And then finally got some stuff done. Like went to the grocery store yesterday, got that done, and then got my first workout in today. And I wanted to just skip dinner again, but I
Skip it
made
as in
myself
not eat?
no, just like not do my meal prep. Like I was at the
Okay, I
gym
got
and it's right by Kava. I was like, I'm
you.
just gonna run and
Oh,
get
yeah.
Kava for dinner because
Yeah.
it's my like healthy, like fast,
Yeah.
quick dinner.
Yeah. It's tasty.
Um, but I was like, all right, no, I need to go home and make this meal prep. And then I've had friends in town, so that's been tough too. And then
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm getting lunch with a friend, so that's another lunch that's off. But at least I have my meals made.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, being off work for me is a really is a tricky one.
Yeah.
But again, with my diet, with my allergies, I
You,
can't stray
you're
from my
yeah, I was gonna
plan
say you're
too
forced
much.
into a lane anyway.
Yeah, it's just not having this stuff at home kind of like threw me off for a loop. But on the flip side, I'm someone that's on my routine 24/7. So to have that little tiny break has been nice. Just relax, like not really care about my sleep schedule or things like
Yeah.
that. Like a little bit more
Yeah,
lenient.
loosen up a little bit for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and all a little stretch like that always goes a long way in terms of, especially this last week of the year. We want to have momentum going through the year, but at the same time, when you're killing it, for the first 51 weeks of the year for the most part, it's nice kind of have that little bit of a break, a little bit of a
Yeah.
mental relaxation, mental break, and reset so that, once January 1st gets there, then you're right back into it.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is I've spent these last 2 years building all these habits, all these routines. So like for me, even if I miss one workout or something like that,
It's not
I
going back.
know that I'm gonna get right back to it. Like today, and again, it was probably harder for me to go to the gym because I would have like I feel like I've my to-do list is just growing. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's other things I want to do, but I know when I'm off my routine, I don't feel like I can get my to-do list done. So it's like I
Yeah.
have to have
Yeah. You're
my
not
like
thriving as much.
ducks in a row
Yeah.
before I can actually get done when I need to get done.
100%, 100%. When we're investing in ourselves and doing the things that are actual true priorities to us, then it allows us, that fire to go conquer everything else we got to do.
Yeah.
100%. Well, we took Lola to on a trip. We got back a couple days ago, right before Christmas. So we got to celebrate Christmas at home for her first Christmas, but we went to North Carolina to see some family. We're there for like 4 or 5 days. She took 4 different plane trips and did a great job. Didn't cry one time. She absolutely crushed it. So that was awesome, really special. She's smiley and giggling at toys now and stuff, and it's I mean it's crazy how much she's growing so fast with it. Um, Super awesome. Nicole goes back to work next Wednesday, and then it'll be a really big, just change for me. I mean, I've obviously been at home with her anyway, but I've had kind of a little tag team situation. But when Nicole goes back to work full time, though, we'll see what that challenge is in store for me. And so I'll kind of go through my own transitions with it, but I'm looking forward to it. It's a little bit nerve wracking, but I mean, I know that regardless, it'll be a week of uncomfortableness, and we'll get it figured out pretty quickly. But Yeah, no, I mean, you mentioned, going to Kava because it's easy. And I think this is something that a lot of people probably are struggling with this week in particular, this time of the year anyway, or even just as after any normal vacation throughout the entire year, is when you get on that vacation mode and you're having to eat out for a lot of meals when you're gone, when you get back home, it's easy to kind of allow that trend to keep on happening. You tend to be like, oh, let's go out, we already did this in the last week, so let's go out to lunch for, or go out to eat for lunch or go out to eat for dinner or whatever the case is. And so, that's something we've kind of battled as well. Luckily, I had, majority of my food already kind of prepped, just in the freezer, ready to go, so we can get it, kind of get back to it. But then you also got the flip side of that is that, we got a few more days until January 1st. We have our budget in check, we have our plan for, what we're doing nutrition wise. So I'm like, it's all right to be a little bit loose right now, for us. But kind of what I want to talk about today though is there's two camps of people I feel like during this entire stretch, the last 8 weeks or so. We have the one camp of people who they're struggling. They know they're going to struggle going into the holidays. They might try to control what they can and not do a good job, or they might just say, screw it, I'm just going to do whatever I'm going to do and see what the result is come January 1st. I made this post earlier, but majority of weight gain for any normal person happens during these couple of months, during November, December. It's cold outside, it's snowy, it's rainy, whatever. The sun goes down a lot earlier. We're just less motivated to be active and, more motivated to sit around and just eat whatever food, do whatever comes easy to us. And those who are checking in, the other camp of people, even if they're not doing amazing, because I mean, right now, I don't really think there's anybody doing absolutely amazing and stellar, but if you can do a pretty damn good job, Dennis and I were talking before um, we started recording here just about you might not be 90% on during December, during the holidays and things like that. But even if you can just be 80% and know that, you're going to get right back on track and be 90% as soon as you're able to, that 80% still allows you to tread water. It still allows you to maintain as best you can without totally falling off. It's when we allow ourselves to totally fall off that it's really hard to get back on track come January. Renee just said that, the last week or so has been kind of a struggle for her in terms of some of her workouts, her routine, her nutrition. But even then, it's she's still pretty damn consistent across the board. She's still getting some workouts in. It just might look a little bit different. And same thing with food. And then kind of same thing for me. Even if my nutrition hasn't been totally on point here recently, it's been still pretty consistent. I'm still getting in my minimum 200 plus grams of protein a day. I'm getting in 30 grams of fiber a day. There just might be a couple extra meals eating out. But I'm still prioritizing my sleep, my water intake, and things like that. So the damage that's might be happening in terms of the scale or how I'm feeling or whatever are still minimized because we're being intentional on some of those other habits. So kind of back to the post that I made earlier, though, there's those two camps of people. There's the people that just say, I'm sucking right now, I'm not doing anything good, so I'm not going to check in. The other camp of people, they might still be struggling. They might still have some of those same struggles they're going through, but they're still checking in. And that's kind of, I think, the trend that I've seen so far with a lot of check-ins here lately is the people who are checking in week over week, they're dealing with the same struggles that I'm dealing with, that Renee's dealing with, that everybody's dealing with, but they're managing it decently well. They're still executing a good chunk of their habits and not totally falling off. Whereas I know that there's a lot of people that I haven't heard from, and I will be reaching out over the next couple of days, making sure they get back on track for the first. I'm sure in their mind, they're already going to be getting on track for the first, but then it comes down to there's a learning opportunity there. If they didn't check in for those 2 months, I'm assuming they're not going to be in the best spot coming back. Their digestion's going to be screwed. Their weight's going to be up. They're not going to be feeling great. They're going to feel maybe less motivated even coming into the new year. And so that should be a learning opportunity for us. If you are one of those people that stopped checking in, that completely fell off or even partially fell off, but just didn't talk about it, next year we can mitigate by that by staying consistent with your check-ins, staying consistent with your reflections and controlling just what you can. Renee, what are your thoughts on that? With your clients, have you seen either of those, camps of people? What's your opinion on that?
So I would say I think I've had some clients that have been just kind of like crazy busy and haven't checked in. Most of them will still check in, communicate their struggles, things like that. I've had a couple like phone calls with a few clients to get them back on track and just to kind of reevaluate where things are at, what their goals are, and things along that nature, which is always really helpful. Because as a coach, we have like the goals in mind that the client originally set, and we're helping them meet those. But then in the client's mind, if they're struggling and they're can't even stay afloat in their day-to-day life, then we need to reevaluate those goals and get on the same page. Because at that point too, when you communicate your struggles to your coach, you kind of take this like weight off of your shoulders and you feel more successful. Like if we lower the goals to get to a point where you can meet them, then you're not constantly feeling like a failure. And then once you're meeting those goals, you're starting to feel better. And that's going to give you momentum to keep going forward and to get back to that full routine, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
So I'd say that's kind of where my clients have been at. But yeah, they're all doing really good, staying on routine and um I think
Checking
just the
in,
check-ins,
communicating. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
check-ins, communicating and
That's
learning to do what they can. Like a lot of it is just, I mean, most of my clients have been with me for 4 months or less, and so they're still learning those routines and um yeah, but they're doing great.
Well, it's awesome that they're prioritizing those check-ins because again, when that falls off, it's a slippery slope and things start falling off really, really quickly behind that. So as long as that stays a top priority, we're good. If you have been listening to these Zoom calls and podcasts and whatnot, I think that we talk about that literally every single week in some way, shape, or form, how important check-ins are. So hopefully you understand at this point how important check-ins are, and we're going to continue to hammer that home for the new clients, for the old clients because we all go through it. We all need that reminder, maybe even on a weekly basis, to definitely get those check-ins in. But the biggest thing right now is regardless which camp you're in, whether you were crushing it, you were checking in every single week, or you fell off and you stopped checking in. The biggest importance right now is accepting where you are, accepting the past couple of months, trying to reflect and learn from what did you do well, what could you have done better those last couple of months. But regardless, we're here where we are today, wherever that is. And so the most important thing is what needs to happen for you to get back on track or for you to keep building that momentum, keep building those habits and crushing it as we come into the new year. Hopefully you have a lot of momentum going into it. But if you're at a standstill and you have zero momentum, stop waiting and let's start building that right
Yeah,
now.
the thing is you just have to do it. Like it seems so daunting in your mind to get back to your routine,
Yep.
but you literally just have to do it. There's no other option.
Yep.
Um Sometimes even just like slowly dipping your feet in, like that's not gonna cut it. Like just full force,
Do it.
go back to what you're doing.
Just do it. It'll be, literally 2 days of being uncomfortable, maybe a week of being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Most likely, if you enjoyed how you were feeling before, if you enjoyed getting those workouts in, it just comes down to prioritizing, no matter what, I'm going to execute these couple things, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this coming week. And just after those couple days, you're probably going to be highly motivated to keep doing it. You're going to feel good about it. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I forgot how good it felt to eat eat these foods that are positive for myself, get these workouts in, go on these walks, even if it is cold outside, you still feel good about doing those things. And so, like Renee just said, just dive on in. So, the next couple days, if you're going to get out of your system, get out of your system. But either way, come January 1st, you've got to have, your priorities in the right place. And the good thing is January, there's usually minimal things. Usually that's everybody's slowest month for the most part, depending on what your profession is and things like that. But January, February are usually fairly slow, which is a great time to kind of go inward and really focus on what you want to get out of this, but not just with the intention of only doing it for January or February, with the intention of creating those habits, creating those mindsets, creating those routines over the next couple months, or adding to them if you already have them, and that way you can carry those on, through March, April, May, into summertime and things like that. So that's just the biggest thing is the next couple days really start getting your mind wrapped around. A couple weeks ago we did our goal setting Zoom call. We talked about doing a lifestyle audit. If you didn't listen to that and you missed it, definitely go back and listen to that because I think it was I'm going to be doing that the next couple days as well. I mean, I've kind of been mentally doing the past couple months anyway. But especially, I'll sit down and actually write it all out what my lifestyle audit kind of looks like, my goals are for this coming year. And that way I'm clear on them. And then not just having those goals, but what are those actionable steps to reach those goals? And then, I'm already starting on those things right now. I'm not waiting until January 1st per se, but January 1st is when things are going to get really, really tight, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Because it's been a couple months, especially once Lola got here. I've allowed things to be loose, and I'm happy I did that. I don't regret any of that. I maintain really well with it, but I'm excited to kind of tighten things back up, especially since Nicole's going back to work, and we're kind of finding our new routines for the long term now. So I'm looking forward to it. Renee, you got anything else right now?
Hmm.
I think it's a pretty simple message.
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of covered it. Just get back to it and
Hmm.
just I feel like it's always easier if you just get it done when it's on your mind. Like my struggle tonight was like, oh, well, I don't really need my lunch tomorrow because I have lunch plans tomorrow, so I'll just make my meal prep tomorrow night.
Yep.
But if you can get it done today, like don't save it for another, like stop putting it off.
Definitely, definitely. One other thing I want to say as well is, if you're listening to the playback of this, or if you're on the call right now as well, and you're kind of struggling with those same, with any of the struggles we've already talked about, or anything else as well, like reach out, ask for a phone call,
Yeah.
ask for, whatever it is that you need. Like we're here for you. We want to make sure that you have what you need, and don't struggle in silence. We only know what we know. We only know what you're telling us. So if you're struggling, definitely communicate those things. Don't have too big of an ego or too much pride to admit your struggles with it. Let's talk about it, and let's get refocused with it so it doesn't linger for January and February, and then shit, 2 months have already gone by before you've really acted on it. So that should be, the biggest thing this year is action. Like Renee just said, don't wait for it. Go make it happen right now if it's important to you. That is. But anyway, though, that's all I got. You got anything else, Renee?
No, really, it's
My,
pretty.
my people on the call, you guys got any questions, any thoughts, any of these struggles we're talking about? Which camp have you been in? Anything you want to add to the conversation?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. In my past experiences, and I lost 155 pounds. So, in my past experiences, if you wait too long to get back, you'll never get back.
Hmm.
So, it's easy to come back from a week of screwing up
Hmm.
on your lifestyle than a month or 2 months. You know, I was with you years ago, and then I stopped because I didn't check in and I didn't do that. And I found it harder and harder, harder. Maybe I was embarrassed or whatever like that, but I felt like I can't check in with him. I didn't do anything this week. I gained weight this week, and I can't check in next week. And I never came back.
Hmm.
And then when I really decided to stick with it, here I am.
Yep.
So my message is, if somebody else is out there feeling embarrassed or whatever like that, don't feel embarrassed. That's what they're there for. They're there to make you stay consistent. And it's so much easier to come back from a week of screwing up than a
Mhm.
month or 2 months of screwing up. That's
100%.
my 2 cents.
No, that's well said. I'm happy you added that in. Because you're right. The first time, your first crack at it with TLF, like you said, you started decently well, but I remember, you kind of started falling off of check-ins. They were sporadic, and then before too long, they were non-existent whatsoever. And that is the story of a lot of people. Their first time doing it. But ultimately, what it really comes down to is, are you ready to truly make that decision to really commit yourself to this? And that's, we should be diving in with both feet, head first, whatever, and just accepting all the struggles that are kind of going to come with it, accepting you're going to make mistakes, accepting you're going to have shitty weeks. But if you can just show up to talk about it, if you can just show up to figure it out from
Yeah.
there, you're going to get there, just like you did, Dennis.
Yeah. I had to get out of my own head. I don't know if anybody else is who's going to listen to this is going through the same thing. I had to get out of my own way
Yep.
to get to where I am now.
I would say
I
that's 95% of people talking, or people listening.
Yeah, because you beat yourself up. Oh, I had that cookie. So what?
Hmm.
Tomorrow don't have the cookie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up over it. Like, and you've said it to me before in check-ins.
Mhm.
That one day or that one meal of the buffalo wings is not going to make you go back to 300 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, just get back on it tomorrow
Yeah.
and basically just go for it. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Good addition, brother. Thanks for sharing that.
No problem, man.
Appreciate you, man. All right. If nobody else has anything to add, then we got check-in day tomorrow. And then after that, enjoy New Year's. You know, I'm sure that there'll be going to be quite a few people that are drinking on New Year's. Enjoy yourself. You know, maybe January 1st isn't going to be your most stellar day because you're going to be nursing that hangover. I know that those years are behind me. At least this year it is. I'll be in bed at a good time. We got a babysitter for Lola that night, so we plan on just hanging out and not having any stress, not being hungover the next day. I'm looking forward to that. But like I said, whether you end up having fun on New Year's or you just chill, have a good New Year's, and let's kick ass come January 1st. Lindsay, you got something to? Oh, okay, sorry, I thought it said that you were unmuted. All right, see you guys next week. See you guys on check-in day. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.